Well, this article is a scholarly attempt to consider the arguments against soft tissue being recent. It looks at the types of arguments that have been put forward that attempt to say that soft tissue could last millions of years. And basically the article comes to the conclusion that none of the suggested rescue mechanisms are workable for the periods of history that we're talking about, which is millions of years. Yes, they might provide some limited ways of preventing soft tissue from decaying, but that would only last several more thousand years than you would expect, but not the millions of years that we would require if we were going to make the soft tissue in dinosaur bones and other ancient fossils into millions of years. And as a consequence, because none of those arguments work, and they're the latest and the only arguments really on the table, we should return to the obvious conclusion that if we're finding soft tissue in fossils, including dinosaurs, then they are only thousands of years old. And this is a fundamentally important point because it undermines the old age paradigm for our rocks. And it brings right to the centre of our attention that these fossils are evidence for a worldwide flood and that the Bible is true. And I cannot emphasise this enough. It's what made me do my evangelism in the first place, the discovery of soft tissue. When I saw that evidence, I thought, this cannot be refuted without blushing, because it is so obvious. Soft tissue is thousands of years old. And that's why the scientific community fought so hard to reject the notion that this came from dinosaurs and argued that it must be contamination. We know it's not contamination, we know it is from dinosaurs and from the fossils that we are finding. Therefore, the world is not millions of years old, it's only thousands of years old, and it was subjected to a worldwide flood. And if God judged the world once with a flood because of sin, we know that when Jesus returns, he'll judge it again. And these are incredibly important issues. My apologies that much of my work seems to be very technical, but the heart of it is this. There is a gospel, and there is a God, and we need to get right with God. And the gospel is the way to do that. Well, thank you for listening.